until they saw the richest man's son call the woman Mom. Only then did everyone realize in shock that the woman they had always looked down on was actually the wife of the richest man. The reason the woman came to the class reunion was because she received an invitation from her ex-husband, and the reason the ex-husband did this was to see how the woman who left him was now living a miserable life. It turns out both of them had been reborn. In their previous life, they were a loving couple. After getting married, the woman even gave up the chance to pursue a PhD in medical school to take care of her husband and support his startup. She even worked 3 jobs a day and was worn down by the hardships of life. Her greatest wish was to have a child with her husband, but her husband kept refusing with all kinds of excuses. This left the woman very confused. Did her husband really not want to have children? But not until that day did the woman discover her husband's secret. She found him staring at a photo of his first love, muttering stories of their past together. He deeply regretted marrying the woman. The woman was heartbroken when she heard this. Only then did she realize that her husband hadn't loved her at all in the past 8 years. In his eyes, she would never compare to his first love. Looking at herself in the mirror and her husband's cruel expression, the woman regretted sacrificing so much for the marriage. She decisively chose to get a divorce. But on the way to the divorce, a car accident ended their lives. When they opened their eyes again, they found themselves reborn 8 years in the past. They couldn't help but recall their past life, where they had gone from lovers to enemies, and the husband never got over his first love. So the two decided to part ways for good. But 10 years later, the woman married the richest man and gave birth to a lovely son. Her ex-husband also fulfilled his wish and married his first love. But fate has a way of playing cruel tricks. After years apart, they unexpectedly reunited at the class reunion. But as soon as they met, the man mocked the woman for not caring about her appearance. His first love pretended to scold him after hearing that, but immediately began to criticize the woman herself. She mocked her for dressing like trash and said she reeked of poverty. But the woman ignored them both and walked over to eat some cake by herself. Little did she know, this scene triggered another wave of ridicule from the crowd. Everyone thought she was a low-class person who had never seen the world. Her ex-husband felt embarrassed by her behavior. Out of respect for their past as a married couple, he handed her $100,000 without saying a word. It turns out, the ex-husband had used memories from his previous life to successfully start a business and became the richest person among their classmates. But before the woman could even respond, the ex-husband insulted her again, telling her not to be as worthless as she was in the previous life. But the woman still didn't pay him any attention. She simply looked at the check in her hand and smiled. It turned out that in her ex